Angles and triangles. In this chapter, we're going to look at angles and triangles. Some of the properties you need to know about angles and triangles are these. Number one, a point is a dot. Whenever I mention points, just imagine it to be a dot. And a straight line is defined as the shortest distance between 2 points. Let's say this is point A and this is point P. A straight line is always the shortest distance between these 2 points. So any other line that is not straight cannot be the shortest distance. Okay, so every line also could either be horizontal. Horizontal lines run this way, and vertical lines run straight down. You could also have parallel lines. Parallel lines are lines that can never meet. This line is parallel to this, so they will move to infinity and will never converge at a point. So parallel lines, normally you see arrows like this indicating that they are parallel lines. Now the point at which two lines meet, now these lines are not parallel. The point at which they meet is called the vertex. And all angles at the vertex, you have an angle is always formed. So at this is called the vertex, this is called the angle, and the angle is measured in degrees. So you have 20 degrees, 90 degrees, etc. Then the sum of angles on a straight line is always 180 degrees. So if you have a straight line, you have an angle like this, this plus this must always give you 180. No matter the number of angles you have at that point, no matter the number, it always gives the sum of all the angles will always give you 180 degrees. Now when you have a line or two lines forming opposite angles, the sum of the opposite angles, or let me put it this way, the opposite angles are always equal. So this must always equal this, and this will always be equal to this. So sometimes you could be given something like this. You have two lines and you are told that this part is 90 degrees. It invariably means that this side is 90 degrees. Or you might be given something like this and told that here is 45 degrees. Find this side, or find this. Now if you look at this, imagine this to be a straight line. So if this is a straight line, that means these two must give you, this and this must give you 180 degrees. And once you find this, know that it must equal this, and once you're able to find this equals this on this side. Another point we must note is this, that the angles that are on a straight line, if they sum up to 80, they are called supplementary angles. So an angle is said to be supplementary to another if the sum of the two angles will give you 180 degrees. And complementary angles, on the other hand, complementary angles, the sum will always give you 90 degrees. Now another point is this, that the sum of angles at a point, the sum of angles at a point is always 360 degrees. The sum of all the angles at a particular point will always give you 360 degrees. Now later in the future, as we solve other problems, we'll come across how to apply this. Okay, now let's take some examples. First example goes this way. Find the lettered angle in the figure below. And you have the figure as this. Here is said to be 150 degrees. What is this point? So since here is 150 degrees, this is a straight line. It means that the sum of the angles on this straight line will give you 180 degrees. So if you call here x, it means x plus 150 equals 180 degrees. And x will now be equal to 180 minus, if you take this to this side, minus 150. Therefore, x will give you 30 degrees. Another example goes this way. You have another straight line. Here is 50 degrees. Here is 2x. And here is 3x. This is also a straight line. It means 2x plus 3x plus 50 will give you 180. This give you 5x plus 50 equals 180. This goes to this side. You have the 5x equals 180 minus 50. Therefore, 5x will give you 30 degrees. X will now give you 30 divided by 5, which is 6. Therefore, if x is 6, it means that this point will now be 3 times 6, and that is, here is 130 divided by 5, and that is 26 degrees. Sorry for that. So if x is 26 degrees, it means that here will now be 26 times 3, which is 18, 1. It means that here is 78 degrees. And if x is 26, here will now be 26 times 2, which is 52. So to prove if we are correct, 72, which is this side, plus 52 will give us 130, then plus 50 will give us 180. This shows that we are correct. Now let's look at other properties of triangles. If you have a triangle with all the sides equal, this side equals this side, this equals this is called an equilateral triangle. Okay, when you have a triangle and only two sides, two opposite sides, this equals this alone, this side may be longer, this is called an isosceles triangle. Okay, now another type of triangle you must know is a triangle, let's say of this nature. None of the sides are equal. None of the sides are equal. This is called a scaling triangle. Okay, then other types of angles you must know is any angle less than 90 degrees. Less than 90 degrees, for example, this could be 50. It's called an acute angle. Now, any angle greater than 180, greater than 90 degrees, this is 90, straight line, like this is 90. Anyone greater than 90 degrees is called an obtuse angle. Okay, so it's very necessary to note all these points. Now let's take some examples with this. Now we have a triangle like this. Here is x degrees. Here is 40, and this side is 60 degrees. Now, another rule you must note that the sum of all the angles of a triangle will always give you 180 degrees. Any triangle will always give you 180 degrees. That means 40 plus 60 plus x should give you 180. Means 100 plus x should give you 180. Therefore, x will now be 180 minus 100, which is 80 degrees. Okay, let's take another example to illustrate this point further. You have a triangle this way. but it has been extended like this, and you're told to find this angle K and this angle X. Here is 60 and here is 70 degrees. So to find K, we have that 60 plus 70 plus K, using our rule for a triangle must be 180 degrees. 60 plus 70 will give 130 plus K equals 180 degrees. Therefore K will be 180 minus 30. K will now be 50 degrees. So if K is 50 degrees, the sum of angles on the triangle is 180. It ultimately means that X will now be 180 minus 50, which equals 130 degrees. So here is 130 degrees and this side 50 degrees. Now click on Start Quiz and answer all the other questions following.